So, what you're telling me is just like the session last week. We're all going to be led in a Pilates session by Andrew.
Yeah.
Going forward before every single recording, yes?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, well then, because so that we've done that, do we want to start this recording?
Oh, no, there's too many.
All right, everybody.
Can you have a couple?
Sorry, I have to help an urgent Malteser situation.
Thank you. My hands are clean, by the way.
I was trying to segue, but you know what? Maltesers. Sure.
What a concept.
So do you guys remember what happened last week?
Pilates.
Yeah, Pilates definitely happened.
We saved the town.
We did.
Well,
Yeah.
the castle. The
Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, castle.
Care emoji.
So,
reacts only.
Kobolds of Caer Keep.
I believe you...
I like it.
That's too many K's right there.
Oh no. So you guys had, in fact, finished clearing out the bottom, like the underground level of the Caer, and you run into a wizard, you think? Someone that was studying some form of book at the very, very bottom.
Oh, that's right.
Alabaster.
She was sitting there, yeah.
Yeah, named Avarice, if I remember correctly.
Avarice and Skelm.
Yep.
Skelm.
She
Skelm
was...
the crow.
She was a little bit evasive to your questionings and probably didn't answer everything that you wanted to, but it was pretty clear that she was not really looking for a fight. So you ended up letting her leave, and she exited the castle for you guys to then find the rest of the castle staff or servants or the remaining ones that were alive locked up in another room under here. Mm-hmm. Eventually you brought them out. You spoke with the speaker of the town and who called in the militia. And they were able to get the castle, start at least getting it up and running again, back to normal. You guys got free lodging at the Caer as well, and You've been told that anytime you come back, you're welcome to stay.
We agreed to split the mead.
Indeed.
Split that meat.
After some pleading from the town speaker, who indicated that the town's run dry on pretty much all of the alcohol, you decided to part with at least some of your cargo to this town before moving on to...
under the assumption that the good mead will get recompensed for the...
Yeah, I sort of hand-waved it a little bit, but I think it's pretty fair to say you have like a writ or a receipt. They don't have to hand over a big chunk of money to you. Now they have speaker councils and arrangements in place.
So, I mean, it's probably worth mentioning as well that we went back and did our research, and it turns out instead of giving away 2 of our 6 kegs of mead, we gave away half our stash.
Yeah.
So...
2 out of 4?
2 out of 4, yeah.
However, you guys decided to set out early the next morning after a strenuous Pilates session, and finally making your way to your original intended destination, which would be, in this case, Caer Konig.
I am so sore. I don't know how you move like that, woman.
Lots of practice, lots of training.
You need to go down for a catnip.
Nope, I'm energized from that session this morning. I love it. Gives me energy, gives me life. I cast False Life.
Every time. So I think what the last thing that happened is, as you were coming
8
into...
temporary hit points, just FYI.
That's the power of Pilates.
There's a power of Pilates.
Pilates.
A false life.
Yep.
A half-life.
It's a bit grim.
So you guys did come into the edge of town where you found that after, seeing a couple of citizens that are not necessarily hidden away, you came across a snowdrift that seemed to be moving as you approached.
Shimmering mound.
Drift. That's right.
Maybe let me... I've got a bit of box text here to read for this exact situation, so why don't I read that out?
The city of Tokyo is the capital of Japan.
It is considered the largest urban sprawl in the world.
It's not what I'm about to read.
How do they fit it under a piece of snow?
It's just a globe.
They've encapsulated the city. Tokyo Drift, everyone. Thank you.
I keep trying to speak, but I'm being overridden. The town sits quietly at the foot of Kelvin's Khan. A few bundled up people shuffle between snow-battered houses, keeping their heads down, barely bothering to give you a look as you walk past them. A pile of snow stirs as you pass it, and someone hidden underneath suddenly stands. The figure looks around and yells, "Who goes there? Is it thieves?
Oh my god!
Have I found those creeping bastards?" He pulls down the scarf covering his face, and you see a silver dragonborn holding onto an empty wine bottle as if it was a weapon. He belches, grins at you, and says, pardon my manners.
Yes?
It's a bit jittery with all the thieving going wrong.
How long have you been in that drift?
I don't know, but I'm Torvis, the town speaker.
I knew you looked familiar.
I don't know if that was deliberate.
How? I know you. You're a wedding lady. And he's like shaking the bottle in your face. Like, you're a wedding lady.
So push the bottle out of my face.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean
It's a bit
to.
rude.
Someone tell him. Do we tell him about the delivery, or do we tell someone who's?
Was this the town the other two barrels are destined for?
Yes.
Yes.
Perhaps when
I can hear you, but I don't remember what you said.
It's for the best.
Perhaps when he's had coffee chowder? I don't know. What is there
Coffee chowder.
coffee in? Maybe not in this.
Coffee.
No coffee, but yes, coffee.
Scratch all that.
I feel
Scratch
like something
whatever I
from
said.
America, the Americas, or whatever the equivalent is in the Forgotten Realms, might be a bit far out of reach of. I mean, maybe if we lived in like a nice fancy part of the Sword Coast, as opposed to like the frozen arse end of it.
What about a nice warm cup of cocoa?
A morning brown.
Pretty
Morning
sure.
A
brown.
morning brown.
Pretty sure chocolate comes from the exact same place as coffee, so we're stuck there as well.
You could prestidigitate.
That makes it taste like
You
coffee.
don't
I don't
know what coffee tastes
How the hell am I
like.
supposed to know what coffee tastes like?
We can just
You can make it taste like coffee with none of the benefits. Or decaf. Kinda.
I mean, it might have a placebo effect.
maybe don't tell him here about the
Yeah,
delivery. We can go to the Caer.
Torvis, jump on. We're heading to town.
Really? Well,
Yes.
that's mighty kind of you. I think I need...
I jump off and grab him and pull him onto the
He
cart.
just sort of like... yeah, and he's very clearly like...
Is this like a normal custom for the town?
Listen, this is the best time of year to get wasted. When there's snow on the ground, you have nothing else to do. Should you drink?
It's pretty much every day.
What's the occasion, Torvis? Is there one?
I'm the town speaker, and I feel attacked over what you're saying. But, you know, I just need a bit of the courage when I'm doing my nightly patrols, particularly right now when there's a bit of thieving afoot. You know, the town's had some thievery troubles. No one's really seen anything, but just the other night, the lantern over the Northern Light was stolen. Corey won't let me hear the end of it, because I haven't been able to find those responsible.
Is this
Scandalous, truly.
an important lantern?
It's the whole reason why it's named the Northern Light, and I believe they're upset they don't have the light part of it anymore. I haven't caught them yet, but I have a knack for this kind of stuff.
Do you have any leads?
I'm pursuing some, but possibly we should go and refill on courage. Then we can continue.
You can tell us. Who do you think it is?
Well,
We should go to the Caer first.
well.
Tell me on the
you
way.
You could go to the Caer, but I mean, it's been ruined for a long time.
Oh, where does the speaker live?
I live at home.
And where is that?
He just starts pointing like in random directions in town.
Man has no idea.
We should ask
Do I know where he lives?
lives.
I don't think
Mosh
you'd
Beef Cliff.
Probably
Wait,
not.
Dog Cliff.
I don't think you'd be intimately not.
No, I don't do
Too
house
many
visits.
cliffs.
You know, we should probably continue our investigation, but I think we could start at the Northern Lights if you guys want to come along to solve a mystery. And he gives you this sort of conspiratorial, eye-waggling look.
The mystery of the missing Northern Lights, yes.
It's not just the Northern Light. A few things have gone missing over the past couple of weeks, and it doesn't reflect well on not me. But I will be the one to solve the mystery.
It's very noble of you, Torvus. Perhaps we could discuss this in more detail at your quarters.
I should continue my patrol. I was going to head to the Northern Light, and we could talk to the sisters. They might have some more information.
The sisters?
Yeah.
Could someone kindly explain this to Carnelian? Carnelian has no idea what's going on.
Neither does Woden, to be honest.
I need to know what's going on.
What would you like to know? Is there anything you guys would like to know in particular, or apart from this man is clearly wasted?
What is an Northern Light? Who are the sisters?
So I think potentially Sveta will probably be aware that the Northern Light is the name of a. Let me pull it up.
It is the inn. I'm just saying this meta-wise. It's the inn. No idea who the sisters are. I assume they own the inn.
Yes, they run the inn.
That's... Ooh,
Nice.
there you go.
Who of us would know that? Just Sveta?
Probably Sveta does travel here the most, I think. I don't think either of you have been in this place, and if Carnelian's been here, it would be very temporary.
No.
Are you actually drunk? Like, are you okay?
Maybe.
He's
I'm
method
getting
acting.
Maybe he had a
Into
hard
character.
lemonade.
Hard lemonade.
I'm just getting into character, baby.
Yeah, I don't have anything besides Torvus.
Yeah, so you know that the
Trovus?
Well, at the very
Totally sounds
least,
Trovus is probably correct.
the Northern Lights is an inn.
So he was saying...
There, I don't know if you should know this. There's another place called the Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is the tavern.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there is an inn separate to the tavern. You would know, Sveta, that the Northern Light gets its name from a lantern that can change colour.
Stolen.
That's hanging outside the inn.
Oh, yeah.
It's like part of its name. So the fact that it's been stolen sort of robs it a bit of its charm of what it is.
God, they won't get any tourists.
That was the one thing.
Damn it.
Well, if that's the case, Sveta, then perhaps we should go and inspect the Northern Light and see this missing light for ourselves.
Perhaps dropping off the meat first before anyone takes it.
You have mead?
Well, not for you.
Sit back down. Sit down.
Hey.
Get up. Nope. Sit
I
down.
am the speaker.
Put my hands on
I'm
your
allowed
shoulders.
to sign for it. You guys had a good mead.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's a long way. You got a dog sled. And he just realizes now that he's standing on the sled with you guys.
This fucking guy.
Why is the earth moving? Whoa!
Well,
The ferry's been down for a while. We haven't got any mead in ages.
I feel like the speaker needs an inn and a bed, not the tavern,
And a bucket.
and a bottle.
They know me at the everywhere. We should. You're right. We should see the sisters. They're the ones that had their lantern stolen. Maybe there'll be some clues.
I think by going there first, we can get rid of him and then perhaps take the mead just more discreetly to the tavern without being badgered the whole way.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, we'll go to the Northern Lights.
So just so that you're aware, the shape of this town, and Sveta would know this, is very similar in a way to Caer Konig, in that it's like a crescent shaped, maybe a little bit smaller. It's not a big long sort of crescent with a bay; it's a smaller bay, and rather than just being a long flat crescent, it's actually terraced. So it's got a number of different levels to it, where houses are built up on each different terrace layer.
That's cool.
At the very top layer, the last houses are abandoned, and the ruin of one of the Caer is there. So the Caer actually no longer stands in this town, which gives it its namesake. The hook line and sinker and the Northern Light are pretty close together at from where you're coming in. If you continue on northeast, you'll come to sort of a little roundabout squarey part that has a number of different shops and locations and near where the docks are. And the Northern Lights and the hook line and sinker are there.
Okay, there's somewhere to park the dogs.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. In all of these places, they accommodate for both horses and hounds.
So that's safe to assume.
Yeah, that's pretty safe to assume. Probably for all these towns, you'll have somewhere if you've got dogs.
Are there people around? Are they
Yeah.
out and about? Is it a bustling town?
As you start really getting into the town proper, unlike the previous town, which was sort of very much shuttering itself away when you guys came in, there are people out. They don't seem particularly happy or sad to see you. Just sort of maybe a bit indifferent, maybe a bit
Just living
abrupt.
their lives.
Yeah, maybe a little bit abrupt. Like, you sort of get the sense that people are probably still a bit strung out here. And Torvis, every single person is just like, "How are you doing?" And he's addressing people by names. Some of them will answer him back. Some of them will just wave him on,
So he doesn't seem to be commanding a lot of respect.
Not necessarily, but he's also not people aren't just
Ignoring him.
ignoring him either.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And as you're going along your on the main road, he sort of just starts when I was a young man, I was an adventurer. I think the four of you guys are. Did you know I fought a troll? Yeah.
Troll, really?
Kicked him right in the naggins.
Oh, hell yeah. You go down?
Yeah. After you kick him there,
Oh,
everyone
fuck
goes
yeah.
down. I rolled him into the lake and watched him float away. And I gave him a finger. Yeah.
What happened to you, man? You sound like you were a great warrior.
Yeah.
Now you're about to fall over every time you take a
Well,
step.
age gets to you. I retired. I came back. I didn't have much to do, so I'll put my name in for town speaker, and of course, former adventurer, strong candidate every year, run on the same platform, and been speaker ever since. It's been a good retirement, to be honest.
How long ago was that, Travis? How long have you been a speaker?
It's 1 season, 2 seasons, 5 seasons. At least no. It's kind of hard. It's always winter. How long has this year been again?
Perpetual, I think.
That's why it's the best time to drink. It's perpetual drinking weather. You get me.
So, you personally, you're not having much of an issue with this sort of weather?
I mean, and you see him. He's wearing a scarf, but he's not wearing a particularly heavy coat or anything. And he's just sort of see, and he just sort of shows you his arm. And for a Dragonborn, it's pretty unusual. It's a very silver scale, and if you know much about Dragonborns, they have a chromatic affinity to a certain type of energy.
Do we know much about Dragonborns?
I think Dragonborns are common enough in Faerun that you'd know Dragonborns,
Right.
and commonly enough they're usually very similar scale palettes, but those that have particularly pure blood, a pure heritage, will draw more in on their chromatic nature. So he's got very silvery scales. Very clearly, he's descended in some way to a silver, some sort of silver dragon, which are aligned to cold, resistant to cold. So he's obviously not feeling it that much.
He doesn't have to dress up as much to get the same kind of resistant to the weather.
That's certainly unusual for a Dragonborn, because usually they have sort of more muddy, maybe browns and yellows. It's not usually very clear what exactly color they draw from, or chromatic color. But yeah, so he's obviously pretty strongly heritage wise.
But the perpetual winter, aren't you afraid that it'll never end?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but
don't you feel motivated to do something about it?
too old for that kind of thing now.
I strip in front of him.
Still wearing your singlet?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was this kind of...
This is
Hi,
motivation.
boss.
Drink it in. Is this motivation enough for you?
I'm going to solve this problem right now. Sobers right up, grow some wings.
Quick, drink it in, I'm freezing.
This reminds me of the time, talking about solving problems. It was this one time. I ran into a camp of kobolds. Those fuckers,
Careful.
they ain't too bright. Like, I managed to convince them that I was a real dragon coming to, smaller though. Just a little bit smaller. And they bought it.
Little idiots. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I forgot.
Yeah.
It just looks at you as like, you're a very small dragonborn though. I haven't told you that before.
No, this is the first time you've spoken to me?
Good lad, that. Good lad. He's just talking to the rest of you. Good lad, that.
Well, we're here. Shall we go in and speak to the sisters? Are they actually sisters, or
They're sisters.
asking for a friend?
They're sisters to each other. Let's
What?
go.
Horatio's
Yeah.
Jesus.
Before, just while all of that
man
was
of the
being
cloth.
said, I didn't want to interrupt, but
Okay.
while all of that was being said, can I just, cast a ritual of speak with animals?
Yeah.
And when we park the dogs, I want to go to the front and talk to Dogcliff
Yep.
and just tell him to guard the mead. Will you do that?
Well, I'm sorry, but if Dogcliff has a voice, do you think perhaps Andrew should have the honour of voicing?
Oh, you know what? I would love that.
Oh, no.
That's perfect.
I like Robbie's ear, like this soft ear. I imagine he looks like a Labrador or something.
You know why I think that's perfect? That's another character I don't need to play.
Only if you want to.
Really?
I didn't want
Husky
to
dog?
put it on
Husky
you.
dog.
I like this
Yeah,
idea.
he's so soft and kind.
Sveta, what do you want to say to Dogcliff?
So, as you know, the snout will turn more canine. I just walk up to Dogcliff, ignoring the other dogs, unfortunately.
They're like, yeah, oh, hey!
Hey! I've got important business. Just hang on.
And they're all like just excited to see you.
I'm so excited to see them.
Borderline seizure.
And I'll walk up to Master Dogcliff. I'll bend down, like a squat in front of him, and grab behind both of his ears and rub them. And say, Dogcliff, do you like that name?
Oh, that feels good behind my ears.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
keep
that's very
going.
nice.
This
Keep
is
going on that, yes.
excellent.
I wasn't
Thank you for the scratches, yes. I'm gonna forget this
Blind her
voice.
away. It's just,
Oh, it's brilliant.
it's too good.
That's a neat trick you have there with your transforming.
Oh, thank you. It's too bad you can't do it, so you can talk to Warden.
Yes, he's quite attached to me, isn't he?
Yes. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't mind it. He seems like a nice chap.
Just as you're doing this,
He means well, you know.
Travis just leans over to Carnelian's like, I think that lady's talking to that dog.
Yes, she does that.
It's a thing she does. Don't think too much of it.
I think I might have had too much to drink.
I do as well.
Better, what's he saying?
Not in the snow.
If any gets anywhere close to me, Carnelian is casting prestidigitation.
Are you talking to Dogcliff right now?
That's useless.
What's he saying?
Oh,
You have to tell me everything.
He likes the
What does he
name.
like?
He-
What does he like? What's his favorite food?
Oh, excuse me, Dogcliff. What's your
Yeah.
favorite food?
Sausages, probably. What did he say?
He likes sausages.
Oh my god, me too. Tell him I like sausages too.
I think he can understand you.
Can he?
I don't know. He understood Dogcliff, so I'll just tell him anyway. Dogcliff, he also likes sausages.
Well, that actually doesn't surprise me.
He looks like a sausage kind of guy.
He does, yes. Anyway,
I just have a very important question for you.
Yes,
Request
of course.
even. It's not a question. I need you to guard the packages that you've been dragging along.
oh, okay, yes.
Yes?
I can do that, yes.
Oh, excellent. We'll get you some sausages when they
perfect.
come available. I can't guarantee them when we leave this building.
Oh, I'll wait for a sausage.
We'll get you a link worth of sausages.
Perfect. I'll whip the boys into shape and no one will touch this mead, I guarantee it.
And you just hear from like, sausage, 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 like 10 dogs.
You heard our sausages, boys.
You're the best, boss. You hear that? He said sausages.
But we must do a good job. Guard the mead, everyone.
Mead. What's mead? What's mead?
I don't know. Lady, what's the mead?
I said
Which
packages.
one is the mead?
It's the big round barrels.
Can you point to it?
So you hit the finger, and I like have my finger out, so it's
All the
following
dogs are
it.
like
That's how
all
sus
following
works.
you with the fingers.
And then I point to the cart.
Oh, the big thing that we're pulling.
Yeah, the big round things,
Yes.
like a ball.
Yes.
Territory? Defend?
Defend,
Defend it, boys.
please and thank you.
And they all just start, like, they're all going nuts. They're, like, yipping and yowling.
So anyone that comes up that looks like they're going to take anything off that cart, you can attack them.
Except
Perfect.
us.
Except for us.
Okay.
Oh, and that drunken silver man.
Okay.
Okay? Oh,
Yes.
you can't see silver.
I can see yellows and oranges, mostly.
You see carnelian? And I point to that tiny man?
Yes. Scale dog.
Yes, but bigger. That's the only other
Okay.
one. Yeah.
All right.
He might be a light yellow.
Alright, I'll accept that.
Okay. Thank you. And I give him another rub, and I'd like a little pat on the bum.
Pats? Do we have pats?
I'm gonna busy myself with these dogs for a little bit, and then I'll join the rest of them in the end.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you can successfully stable them as well. You're just outside of the Northern Light. Does anyone want to do anything while this is going on? I know Woden's like writing down details of what.
I'm like sitting there like doing gestures like, tell me, what's he saying now?
I'll relay literally verbatim what we're talking about.
God, he's such a good boy. He's gonna guard our things. So cool. Such a hero.
Before I complete, do you want to say anything else to Dogcliff?
Tell him. Oh, I don't know. Tell him he's my favorite dog and we'll be back soon.
I replay everything that was just said with a slight word and lilt in my voice
Okay.
for gusto.
After Dogcliff and the rest of the dogs have been, energized to defend your cargo, Trovis takes you inside the Northern Light, which now has an empty hook standing at the front. The inn appears mostly empty. A young woman looks up as you enter and gives Trovis a chastising smile and says, "Did you fall outside again? I'm telling you, Trovis, one day you're going to have to stop relying on the kindness of strangers." The woman then opens the door into what looks like the kitchen and calls out, "Heat up something for Trovis. He's been out patrolling again." The woman then very quickly moves over to where you are and guides Trovis to a chair and settles him down. Just talking to him and giving him a little bit of small chat. What do you guys want to do? You can see the inn looks like pretty run-of-the-mill. Has a kitchen down here and a front desk, and then it has stairs leading up to obviously what will be the rooms.
So the woman that's giving him a seat,
Yep.
does she appear to be one of the proprietors?
Yeah, I mean, well, you don't know, really, so you haven't talked to her.
Oh, I'll approach her. Excuse me, madam.
I'll go over too.
Oh, yes. Hello. Sorry, let me get Trovis sorted here, and I'll be with you in a moment.
Are you one of the sisters?
Ah, yes. Ali's my name. Sorry. I'm quite rude of me. I just find it best to get Trovis a bit sat down before, he's had a bit too much, I think. Yes, my name's Ali. Ali Sherrad.
Pleasure. I'm Horatio Cloudridge.
Horatio? Lovely to meet you. And you, young man. She looks at Carnelian.
Ma'am, I am a kobold.
Oh, you're all strapping young men to me. And Sveta, good to see you again.
Hello.
Your name is? And she looks back to Carnelian.
Carnelian.
Carnelian. Ah, fantastic. And sir?
And I'm Woden.
Woden. Excellent. Well, have a seat. Have a seat. Look, I will be with you in one moment. I'll just sort out Trovis here. I don't know how you found him, but probably face down, I would imagine.
Buried, actually.
Yes, in a drift.
Could have been face down. We couldn't see him.
I think he tried to ambush us.
Oh, yes. That sounds like a very Trovis thing to try. She busies herself with Trovis for a moment, and then after a little while, she heads back up to you. Are you sitting at a table or somewhere, just hanging out?
You have a table?
Someone get me a booster seat.
She approaches all of you and says, "Sir, what do we owe the pleasure, then? Are you staying for a night, a few days?"
Actually, we came to deliver some mead.
"Oh, excellent!
And solve a mystery.
Ah, are you going to help us find out what happened to our lantern, then?
Yes.
And all the other things?"
Yep.
All the other things?
"Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, yes, many things have gone missing over the past few weeks, I think. I don't know all the details, but the latest thing that happened was our lantern from outside got stolen sometime last night. It's really terrible. I mean, look at this place. It's the Northern Light. What's the Northern Light without a light?"
Yeah. Yeah, your hair looks really nice.
Oh, thank you. You're a charmer. At that, the kitchen door swings open as a stern-looking woman enters holding a steaming bowl of soup. She places the bowl down in front of Trovis and says, and she sees you talking, and she picks up on the conversation. Shakes her head. "No troll did this. Someone would have had to have spotted them, caught them. Oh, there's more going on. Besides, what do hungry dwarves have use for a lantern?"
Why bring up dwarves?
"Oh, sorry, this is my sister Corey."
Hello, Corey.
Right?
The sister?
Yes.
The other
yes,
one?
she's... Yes, and they just start sort of like talking, and then, yes, I'm Corey, I'm Ali's sister. We run the inn here, Northern Light. She's a little bit older, probably a bit harder in the face than Ali is. Ali's sort of like a bit more bubbly and present and like pleasant. She has like an apron on, like a dirty sort of like not like soiled, but like say she's working in the kitchen, so obviously she does a lot of the cooking.
Stained?
Yeah, stained probably the best.
Well, what an establishment you have here.
Why, thank you, dear. Yes, Corey thinks that Corey thinks that it might be dwarves that are driven a bit by the long winter, you see, and maybe come into town to steal some food, but I mean, why take the lantern? All it does is shine in different colours. Yep. Lantern's a magic lantern, alright, but it's really just decoration. Outside, it's not much more useful than a light. Just shows up in different colours. Damn thieves.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, God. 10.
10. I mean, nothing would set you on edge or anything like that. You know these two women. They're generally just pretty flat out running their own little business here. You don't think they've any reason to lie to you or anything like that? They don't seem... They seem mostly not like super concerned, but mostly just a bit annoyed that they've lost the namesake of the tavern.
Do you have problems with dwarves around here very often, or...
Dwarves are just nearby. They often are found in Kelvin's Khan. They quite do a lot of expeditions up there. Corey just thinks that maybe with the harsh winter and all, they're taking things that they might need, but, you know, not necessarily without asking.
Do they live in the town?
No. They mostly have some hideouts and caves up at Kelvin's Khan. They sometimes take visitors through on hikes to the peak.
I've been partial to a hike. What say you guys?
Yes, I think if we can help us get to the bottom of the case, then yeah, absolutely. I did have one question.
Yes, dearie.
The other things that have gone missing, what exactly are they? And do you think there's any significance or...
Things have gone missing. Well, there's the colour switching lantern, of course. I think that a pair of goats went missing from the hook, line, and sinker somewhat recently, which is what made Corey think that it could be for food. Yep. Make a lot of good stew with a couple of goats. And I think someone complained that a small sack of pearls may have gone missing from the Frozen Fire Expeditions, the store just down the way.
Pearls, goats, and a magic multicoloured lantern.
What would Woden know about verbeegs?
Verbeegs? I wouldn't say that, like, off the top of your head. You know, obviously there was the one that attacked in Goodmead, and that was seemingly driven by trying to get the mead cask. Like, obviously stole a big cask of mead and then ran away. But, I mean, could be. There's no reason to suspect any one thing or another. They're just saying dwarves because what they're essentially saying is they're close, and they think that's the most likely suspects.
Have you seen a dwarf recently?
Oh, there's a few dwarves in town, of course, that live here. Often dwarves come through to get supplies from Frozen Far, or sometimes spend a night when they're not wanting to be on the mountain. But yes, it's a bit of a bad thing to be accusing customers of stealing stuff, Corey. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I think it's them damn dwarves. Yes, but we haven't seen any dwarves take anything, have we? No, that's true.
Do you have a particular dwarf in mind that you suspect above others?
I can't say, no. As I said, it may not be a dwarf. But no, not that we can think of. It's very, very unusual. We're quite a close-knit community, of course, with winters being so long and everything. It's made sure everyone sort of have a real sense of community, I suppose.
Can I just ask out of meta, would I know when the sacrifice night was?
It's been a little while. Probably been a good 20 days maybe or so ago. It's coming up somewhat soon, but maybe not for another 10 days or so.
No, I'm not going to ask that question then. Okay. I don't actually have any questions for them. So.
Okay.
The pearls, you say. What was the name of the shop that they came from?
I think it was from the Frozen Fire Expeditions. It's a shop nearby. Hang on. If you head back up the main road, you'll see it's one of the few houses on the northern side of town. Fairly big. You shouldn't miss it.
Perhaps it'd be a good place to start. And the goats went missing from which?
The hook, line, and sinker. Just across from here.
Right. The one just outside.
Yes, just across the way.
Mm. What's the time? Instead of
so you set up pretty early in the morning. I would say it's still probably roughly mid-morning.
Okay. About perpetual daylight?
About perpetual mid-morning.
Would it be time for perpetual brunch?
Could be time for perpetual brunch.
Do you have any brunch offerings, my good lady?
Yes, of course. We can whip something up. What would you like?
Well, there's a choice. The last place we didn't. This is brilliant.
Yes, well, of course, there is famous knucklehead trout, served 3 ways.
Off to a fire.
Of course it is. 3 ways. Great.
Dry soup, wet soup, and somewhere in between soup.
Be grateful.
All right, sorry about that. Is it a dwarf?
It was me all along.
Son of a bitch.
We might be able to get you a side of a goat. Not all of it went missing, of course. I think maybe some sort of braised goat shank possibly could be on the menu. I could convince Corey to whip something up. Obviously, there's a vegetable soup which Trovis is making his way through.
Braised goat shank, guys.
I actually suddenly feel like sausages. All this talk of sausage.
Goat sausages?
Goat sausage? Yeah.
It would be a special order. I'd have to ask Corey. Corey, do you think I haven't made sausages, so,
Oh, I don't want to be any trouble.
good. Because it's not on the menu.
Okay, I was being polite, but...
Well, I'll take a goat shank. Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes, one shank.
I'd also love a goat shank.
2 for the shanks.
Make it 3.
3 for shanks. And yourself, sir?
Goat as well, please.
Shanks. Okay. Corey,
Thank you.
Just see if we have enough goat shanks for our guests. All right? And she turns around and walks back into the kitchen.
How many shanks does a goat have? Does anyone know?
Isn't it part of the leg?
Yeah, yes, it
It's
is.
like the whole leg and shoulder, I think, isn't it? A shank?
I think so. But it's sliced, so it might be of the same leg. I'm not a butcher, though.
My brother's a butcher. I'll ask him.
I'm just
I
going to
am
ask
no
Google.
butcher.
Shank.
Well, so it's wonderful. So you're going to help us out then with trying to find our missing items, yes?
Yes, we've been hired by the town speaker to investigate the crime.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. And she sort of like cocks her head to the side. Did you hired?
Yep.
Oh, Trovis, did you?
It's like an adventuring quest.
Yeah, it was a verbal agreement.
Verbal agreement, yep.
Right. Okay. Well, I can't offer you that much here. Coin's quite scarce at the moment. There's not a lot of travellers, but if you successfully can bring the lantern back, I'm sure we can do some free board and some nights in a nice warm room. Then that's all I can really offer at the moment. I'm sorry.
I suppose we can ask for some free mountaineering gear from the Frostfire as well.
Actually, yes, I need a blanket so I can stop borrowing yours.
Yes, I would like that back. Thank you.
Yes, of course, yes.
Maybe after the shank.
Excuse me, Ali.
Yes.
Is there any shops that you recommend in town for adventuring gear, blankets?
Yes, Frozen Fire would probably be your best bet. There's not much in the way of adventuring gear. It would be the closest thing. They deal mostly in mountaineering and hiking. Yes, I don't think there's been much in the way of...
My notes say adventuring / mountaineering gear, so
Boom.
excuse you.
Turns out it is Kathmandu.
Mostly, I said it'd be the closest thing, mostly to do with mountaineering. Primarily mountaineering.
Okay.
Kind of mostly.
Mountaineering is a
probably
kind of
Kathmandu.
adventure.
Yes, it is. You're not wrong.
It really is.
It's got stuff. Not pearls, but it's got stuff.
Sick burn.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes.
Ali, is there anyone else in town you would recommend that we have a speak with? Any fellow investigative minds?
For those listening at home, Woden actually has a notepad out and he's jotting it down.
I mean, most of us are pretty busy with our lives. Trovis is probably the only person that could have been even remotely qualified to handle this sort of thing. He's the town speaker, but formerly a retired adventurer, of course. But most of the others that can be called upon to defend the town are just regular people, at best a militia.
Oh, you have a militia?
Yes, most of the towns do, actually, in the 10 towns.
Militias.
Have some form of standing militia. Although the bigger towns have some more formal guard and watch, of course.
And do they have a quarters?
A what?
A quarters, the militia. A quarters for the militias. Malicious.
I don't know what that is.
Malortas.
Like a station area where they get their weapons from,
Quarters.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like a
people-
dormitory.
Like a dormitory.
I think there's a central place near the speaker's home that acts as that kind of thing, yes. A small armory.
And that is which direction?
Oh, probably the speaker's house would be near the front of town, probably where you found Trovis, in fact.
Perfect. I know exactly
Wait.
where that is.
If we just pulled Travis away from him... Oh. Of course we did.
Look, he wasn't doing any good out there. We all know it.
I can hear you
Shut up,
from here.
Travis.
But do
Yeah.
you have anything to add to the conversation?
Oh, burn.
I think
Got him good.
that
You got,
dwarves might not be a bad guess,
you got
maybe.
annihilated. That can be your catchphrase.
And then he just sort of like, I got soup, and starts eating his soup again.
Hashtag I got soup.
Weren't you looking for a
That
catchphrase?
soup.
That's soup,
Still
though.
looking.
Still looking.
Well,
Okay.
if you wish, obviously there's a few places in town you could take a look at the Recline and Sinker or Frozen Far. I can also show you out the back. We think there was possibly some. They might have headed out from behind our tavern when they left. Maybe
thieves?
Yes. I mean,
goodness.
maybe there's something out there that would lead you in the right direction.
Oh, point
You
us,
mean
point
you,
us.
like, almost caught them, or...?
No, it's just there's a lot of things out of place at the back of the tavern, like it's been moved, but nothing else taken except for the lantern.
I'm on it. I'll walk out the back.
Oh,
Carnelian
as you start walking out, just like Corey busts out. All right, 4 shanks.
Corey, not now.
Oh, well...
I'm
Well,
investigating.
these are the last shanks. So if you don't want them, someone
take
else
mine,
gets them.
Fun fact, a goat has exactly 4 shanks.
Yep.
It's perfect. Sorry, goat.
That's why I said this is the last serve.
I'm going to take a plate.
All right.
I'm just going to sit and eat.
Okay.
I'm out the back.
You're heading out the back.
I'll come back.
Stay and
I'll
eat
come
your
back.
shank! We can
It's-
all go out the back together!
It's a warm meal.
So
I can't hear you anymore. I'm outside.
Ali's like, "Oh, okay, out the back, dearie," and she starts following you out.
Put it in a doggy bag.
Carnelian will... Wait, how,
Corey
how,
just
how,
looks at it,
how,
it's just
how
like-
are the
I can't
shanks
hear.
being served?
Like
on the bone.
Like a bowl, or
on
like
the,
a...
no, on a plate on the bone, off the bone, on a bed of mashed vegetables.
Couscous.
Goose.
Mashed vegetables. It's like mashed vegetable puree.
Sleep.
Turnips.
Yeah, with like a goat shank and
I mean, honestly, Carnelian's eating
Is
worse.
that like a carrot?
So
Horatio-
outside. Just watch.
Horatio will be like,
Yeah,
looking
no,
back and
Carnelian
forward.
will take his plate and follow.
Get
so
there.
okay. So the three of you
Hang on.
Can
Tim
I?
has something to say.
I was about
Sorry.
to say something, if I may.
go ahead.
So I'm sort of stuck between Woden, the shank. I'm like Woden, shank, Woden, shank, Woden, shank, and I'll run back to the table. I'll grab the shank,
Yeah.
and I'll take it with me out the back
So
and start gnawing on it.
the three of you walk out the back, and you've got like a plate and
Yeah, I've
like
still
a
got my
fork, but like you're just trying to stab it and hoping that the meat comes off,
Fork? No. Carnelian's just
or just crunching into it.
just lean down, like open jaws, lean down, bite.
I don't want to get my fur wet.
Woden, what would you like
Carnelian's
to do?
hands are like covered in shank grease at this point.
Shank.
Savage.
I'll turn around and see everyone holding their shank plates.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, did you bring mine?
Oh,
What?
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do the investigating, and you guys can eat, I guess. I'll
As
solve
soon
it on
as-
my own.
Have
No,
some
I'll
of my shank.
I'll solve it on my own. It's fine.
Can Carnelian like make a performance out of eating to grant and to inspire?
An inspiring display of eating.
It's really
Just think
good.
about it. If you do a good job, you can go in and eat your shank like I'm doing right now.
I'm going to go back
this
in
area.
Okay.
because I feel really bad.
Okay.
And I'll grab his plate.
Okay. So you're heading back inside.
Please.
Is
have
everyone
an
else staying outside?
Yes.
Yeah, shank in hand. Yeah.
Please have an
Woden-
inspiring performance, Woden.
Woden, what are you looking? What are you doing?
I'm looking for whatever they were referring to inside. I don't know what that is, but I'm looking for any sign of
Make
Anything?
anything.
perception check and make a perception check first.
My word and sense is tingling. Perception.
We call
is-
that your eyes.
Oh, baby!
Like vibrating in their sockets.
Perception is. That's a 17.
17. Okay.
Double digits on worded.
I know. What is
Holy
this?
hell.
I have a plus in that stat. Look at me.
Hey.
At you.
Look at me.
So you are looking around at the back, and this place is pretty disorganized. Obviously, it's being used a little bit like not a trash heap, but like where spare stuff is stored. Maybe the stuff that's not particularly valuable.
It's like where they
at
go
the
for a
back of the
cigarette
tavern.
on their lunch
Yeah.
break.
And you're not really sure what Ali's talking about because you don't know the layout before. But if any of this stuff has been moved, anyone who's regularly out here might notice the difference. You think that you're looking around the ground, and you think that looks like there's been a bit of commotion out here, in that there's a lot of like footprints on the muddy, snowy sort of area out here. And you also hear something faintly in the distance. There's no wind for it to carry, but you're just hearing a very faint Tink. Tink. Tink.
I look up towards the roof.
Tink. Nothing on the roof. Seems to be coming from further away.
So I'm in a courtyard, essentially.
Yeah, just sort of out the back of the inn.
All right, I'll head out beyond the courtyard and see what's like down the side of the building.
Well, wait, I'm coming.
So you head to the side of the building. Everyone's scarfing down different.
Am I back yet with
You're
the
back,
shank? Okay,
yeah.
good. I got to your shank.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the shanks.
Shanks for the sake.
I think I'm onto something. Can you hold it for a second?
I really
And
want to eat mine though.
I'll get Beef Cliff out.
I've taken a bite of mine here. I'll hold it for a bit.
Oh no.
So you get to the very end.
You're double parked on your shanks.
Carnelian's like is bitten into his bone and is like sucking the marrow out. He's like,
No, I'll just hold it. It's okay.
Woden, you get to the edge of the building and you sort of look down and you can see a pretty clear alleyway that leads to the road, the main road out the front. But from the back of some other buildings, still further in the distance from where you are, you're still hearing now just a little bit louder the tink, tink,
I don't see anyone.
tink. You don't see anyone.
What is it, Woden? What are you hearing?
Pick up the pace. I hear something. It's at the end of the alley.
Can I go like...
Yeah, you can make a perception
Cup your
check.
ear.
Carnelian would like to cock an ear as well.
Go for it.
Like cock an ear, brother.
Let's try that again.
Sick grind.
That would be a 15 for Carnelian.
What's mine?
Probably better.
What was it again? Did you say?
Perception.
Perception. Okay. 18.
You guys don't hear anything. You see the mess that was in the courtyard before that Woden was looking at, and you kind of think you might see some tracks, but you don't hear whatever Woden's hearing.
I feel like I got a really good listen, but I still didn't hear anything.
Whoa! What do you hear, Warden?
I don't know.
And he's further down now, away from you guys. He's starting to move. And Woden, you can start hearing it a little bit louder as you're sort of making your way behind all these houses.
I'm darting, my head's darting around. I'm
Yep.
checking, I'm passing windows and things.
Yep.
Am I running behind?
You're running behind a
houses?
set of
Right. I'll
houses or
be
buildings.
checking behind people's bins,
Yep.
in their windows, just doing it. My head's darting around everywhere.
You get to the end of one alley, and you're a little bit ahead of the party now. And then suddenly, as you get to the edge of the alley, you hear that sound louder. And you think it's coming down from, if you actually make a turn into the alley, you might hear it louder and louder.
So, okay. I'll jump around
now
the
it's
corner of the alley.
Yep.
The jig is up!
You head down the alley, and now you're hearing it stronger. And you're hearing that noise, and it sounds like metal striking metal. Bonk! Bonk! Bonk!
Delicate metal.
The sound of dwarves.
I'll head down.
You head down.
Where?
Follow.
You guys are a
him.
little bit behind because you've got your hands full of plate and Sveta's double fisting a shank. And you guys get to the...
Wait, she's double fisting
She's
a
got
shank?
two of the
Double-handed.
shanks.
Yeah, bud.
I know.
She's got one for Woden, one for herself.
I just want to make sure I heard what I...
Yeah, you heard it, right?
Sexual innuendo.
So you guys get to the alley as well, and again, you guys don't hear anything. But Woden is now well ahead of you, and as you're getting to the end of this alley, you can hear, where you burst out to the front, then you just hear, you're in between two other buildings now, and you can hear it off to your left. You turn?
Yep, dart down.
You turn and you dart down. Looks like in this particular area, there's a small, dense cluster of houses here that's pretty, zigzaggy, and you guys have now lost sight of Woden.
Woden! Wait, where are you? We can't hear anything.
Woden, you're hearing sort of the echoing cries of, your party behind you, but now you're hearing louder and louder that sound, and you, think you're right upon it. You turn out of one of the alleys, and you've got...
Still ready.
Still ready, and you just come to a screeching halt. You can hear the source of the noise now. It looks like you're standing in front of maybe a blacksmith's forge. It's the forge itself is glowing red hot and in use. And you can see there's a man that has his back to you. He has huge, broad shoulders, and he looks like he's somewhat tanned. He's got a bald head, and it's almost like he's just sweat dripping off. And he's holding in one hand, a long, heated metal probably a blade, maybe, of some description, but he's not wearing a glove. And he's got a hammer in the other hand. He's just, bing, like, bong, bong,
So
bong.
he's bare-handing a
Yes.
piece of forged metal while it's being forged.
Yes.
Ooh.
Hello? Hello?
It doesn't stop.
You!
Bang!
You there!
Bang!
Put down that weapon! Is it... Sorry, it's a weapon?
It's just like a hammer, like a blacksmith's hammer.
Oh.
Potential weapon.
Potential weapon. Put it on the ground!
Put that ball-peen hammer down.
And I'll kind of see if I can... I'll get a bit closer, but not like... Not striking range.
You get a little bit closer, and you feel like you recognize the person in front of you. They stop for a moment and straighten up a bit. You can just see their broad shoulders, like just muscles on top of muscles, and like all of their back muscles are just ripped with corded muscle. Woden.
How do you know my name?
You know who I am. And then he just goes back to it. Ting! 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 You've not been holding up your end of the agreement, Woden. He's not even looking at you still. Bing! Ping!
I do know
Ping.
who you are.
Yes.
And I have been.
No.
You should know. I've been out being a hero and saving people and using my powers for good.
He straightens up and he just sort of shakes his head. You can only see the back of him. And he's like, that wasn't the agreement.
It was the agreement.
No.
I've got a bit of like uncertainty in my voice now.
The agreement was to feed. Feed what I give you. Not shy away from battle. Not look for the easy way out.
Hey
Feed.
man, I've been feeding. Did you see us in that lost castle? I hit that guy's head off.
Yes. Yes. But not enough. Too many times you've stayed your hand when it should have fed the weapon you hold. The one I gave you.
Look, Beefcliff's not always hungry.
That is not its name, and you know it. And he just goes back. He's out like massive swing. Ping!
Double ping.
He holds up this sort of flaming sword and turns around. And you can see this long grey beard that extends almost down to his stomach, and his eyes just like completely like have no pupils, no iris. They're just like fiery red. As he turns to you, he points the red hot molten the brandingly hot weapon at your face, just inches from your face. You can feel the heat coming off it. I need you to feed it at all opportunities. You've been staying your hand, been diplomatic. They are hungry, Woden. This little task you're on, it'll lead you to the end of a road. Don't be merciful.
All right. I'll do it. I'll feed it.
Good. He turns around, places the red hot sword blade down on the anvil, and brings the hammer down one more time, and a blinding flash of light and heat expands out, causing you to close your eyes out of the reflex. When you open them again, you can see an empty forge, an empty blacksmith, with just some residual heat coming from it. But nothing else is there. The rest of you finally burst in.
Woden!
The very end of this alleyway. You can see him standing there.
Cunning is just sort of like licking like grease off his fingernail.
What is it?
There's
nothing here. Did we hear any of like talking as we were approaching? Or?
Yeah.
Not even Woden.
Not even
You
the
heard,
ping?
so what you guys heard as you were like trying to find your way in this little dense cluster of alleyways is like every so often you would catch a voice, which you would assume was Woden's. And that helped you find this place here. But you only heard Woden.
Did
Did
you make out the words at all?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Did you find something?
I'm just kind of like not staring at anything in particular, but maybe like staring kind of maybe at the feet of where the blacksmith would have been, just Beefcliff like on the like the what's the pommel in my hand, and then the rest just sitting on the floor, just kind of staring.
I'll go to Sveta and I'll grab Wooden's shank.
You can have the entire plate if you like.
I'll take it. Yeah.
There you go.
For those at home, we're miming the handover of plate across the table.
It's very
Yes, I've
important.
been handed a
You've
shank.
been handed an invisible shank.
And I'll approach Wood and clap my hand on his shoulder and say, "Is everything okay?
Oh.
You seem very afraid, but there's nothing here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. Oh, is that my shank?
Your shank."
Oh, thank you.
And for those listening at home, I'm now handing the shank.
The pantomime is complete.
I lean in closely and grab the shank from Horatio, and I whisper in his ear, "Thank you."
And I shudder a bit. No, I don't.
Are you okay?
Yes. What? Yeah. I thought I found the burglar, but it was just a homeless guy in the alleyway.
Your face is all red.
You look spooked.
Yeah. He jumped out at me, but I fought him off, and he ran away. He was no match for me.
Can I roll an insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
Is
Absolutely.
your voice trembling or anything?
Maybe roll
no.
to see if you're that insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to roll an
find out.
insight.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Warden,
She's on to me.
Warden, can you roll a deception check?
I was
Oh, yeah.
Can I? Because I'm there too. I'm
Yeah,
watching
go for
this.
it. Go for it. No, don't tell her.
Mug, son of a bitch.
It's a natural
I was gonna
20,
say-
baby.
Oh my god!
I was going to say don't tell her, just react the way the insight would have gone.
Oh, yeah, roll again.
Alright.
No, that's all right.
Hang on, alright.
I'm very confident in what I'm saying.
So my insight
shit out of that
is
homeless guy.
21.
21. Any better for Horatio? I think... Well, I think it's fair to say that you don't... I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Woden's shaken up about
Do you
something.
want Andrew to answer that, or... Okay, sorry.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
It's the shank.
I think it's pretty clear that Woden's shaken up about something, but is there anything else you want to reveal, Andrew?
No, I'm just start eating my shank.
He is as cool as the metaphorical cucumber.
Well, shall we continue eating our shanks back at the
Vegetable
tavern?
sausage.
Yeah, it's getting a bit cold.
My shank's
I
cooling
shouldn't have
right
gone
off.
Shouldn't have
Cats
gone
are scared of them.
into the winter with my shank.
I mean, it's great for preservation, but for eating fresh, you have to heat it back up again.
Sveta, cucumber.
Can you just prestidigitate this one, please?
Can you prestidigitate?
Oh, right,
mine?
yeah.
Thank you.
And the pantomime continues.
Show off my shank for the warms.
I wave my
Do some
shank in front
fancy
of Carnelia
finger pointing.
until he pokes.
Like some highly unnecessary, like...
Flourishes? Yeah.
And it just, like, makes a little, like, sparkle when I touch it.
E.T. finger on the shank.
I'll just eat my shake, but I'm just gonna side eye Woden. Like, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, well, I think you can't get anything from
Actually,
that
I
insight.
think you are.
No, I think you can't. I think the way I'm playing this, I don't think you got anything more than that than you would have already been able to obviously see.
Yeah.
It's a bit dry, I think, this shank. Could do with a bit more sauce.
You guys start to leave the alley, and Woden, you look back just one more time, and you just look at where the man was standing, and you just see two really large footprints in the like dusty, like just under the cover. It's like this two huge footprints,
Oh, so,
and then you leave.
I guess that was not a lead?
Dead end.
False alarm. No dwarfs, nothing.
Alright, so we go back to the inn and have another look?
Yes, let's finish our shanks indoors.
I mean, speak for yourself.
I think most of the shanks are gone.
I'm full. You can have the rest, Carnelian.
Just, opens his mouth and
You're
points.
not a dog. You can take it. Have this
According
shit.
to the dogs, I am.
Yeah, alright.
He just Carnelian just like puts the whole thing in his mouth and just pulls back a bone.
Oh, juice.
Impressive.
You guys head back to the behind the. It takes you a little bit of time to work your way back through, but you head your way back to the behind the tavern. roll. Are you guys looking around? Or are you going in
Yes,
first?
I would like to look around.
What are we looking for?
Signs of forced entry, destruction.
Yeah, or just any kind
Patterns.
of evidence. Roll me survival checks for anyone who wants to.
Oh, yeah?
I'm proficient.
Would someone like to assist me? I believe I am proficient.
Survival?
Yeah.
I am also proficient.
It's a 19. Baby.
Okay.
I think everybody's just rolling Zephyr.
Yes!
Good sec.
Oh, damn!
There you go.
What a survivalist.
Okay, so there's a couple good rolls there. So what I'm going to say is, you guys are looking around and you can see most of the like castaway junk or like non-valuable stuff that can be stored out here. And it doesn't really make much sense to you, but as you're looking around and you're sort of keeping a close eye on everything, you can see at the very edge of like where the awning out back here sort of ends and the fresh snow begins. What you can see are a couple little divots in the snow. And if you look closely, you realize they're footprints leading away from the tavern and away from any particular buildings that might be close by in town.
I don't see anything.
How large are they?
It looks like anyone who's probably the best would be Sveta. If you ask her that, you probably think maybe it was made by some sort of medium-sized creatures.
We're medium creatures.
Yeah.
You're not.
Like, okay, but like dwarf medium or person medium?
You probably can't tell at this stage because it's in fresh snow. It's not like it's been like freshly made. It's been in parts have been came in a little bit melted away, but it's clear enough that they're footprints leading away.
Do they look, recent?
You would think that they would have to be at least somewhat recent, maybe done in the last 24 hours. If they were fresher, they would be like more defined. But if they were any older than that, they'd probably be gone at this stage with the wind and the snow that's been fallen.
I mean, as we don't have much of a better lead, we might as well follow.
All's well. Yep.
Okay. So, you guys decide to follow the footprints leading away from the Northern Light.
You sound so sinister about it.
I know, because we're going to have to find out what happens next week on Reflex Save.
Okay, fine. I can't. I've got tears in my eyes. It's too much.
Oh, man.
Oh my god, what the fuck was that accent?
That was a Dogcliff accent,
That was
obviously.
I channeled my inner
He's the
dog.
leader of a
loved it.
gang. That's fantastic.
Oh, I was getting some like British gangsters going on.
I want to
Yeah.
picture Dogcliff as Speedwagon from JoJo's Bizarre
Oh my
Adventure.
god, no.